Welcome to Motherfunkler. Greetings to all our fellow Funklers. 'Tis I, Poppy Chulo, coming in hot, baby. To my left, DJ Charcuterie Board.
There you go.
To my right, Showtime Sadul. Let's see, the wizard and super producer Carlos Mencia is over there.
That's a good
one. Intuitive Muse is running around here somewhere. Oh my. Hey, I've been thinking about the word unfortunately a lot lately, just in the application of it. Have you ever had anybody say like I'm trying to think of a good example. If you're booking an appointment and they say, unfortunately, that slot isn't available.
Yes.
Unfortunately really means in pretty much all applications, like you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, you're fucked. There's no, it's, so I have gone out of my way to not say unfortunately. And try to think of a more positive spin on it. Do you ever use the word or the phrase?
It's a social lubricant word that people are using because they have to deliver you bad news. I mean, like the hostess at a restaurant doesn't want to tell you that you're fucked.
Usually it means bad news for you, good news for me. So like, let's say it is a haircut appointment. It's like, well, fortunately for me, we're fully booked, but you're screwed. Unfortunately...
Well, so I guess in that very specific example, but also somebody walks up and goes, "Hey, do you have any slots in the next 2 hours for me to get a haircut?" And you go, "Unfortunately, no, our next slot is at 6. Now it's unfortunate for both of you because you would have liked to have put him in to make that money.
Yeah,
but
okay, I get
it didn't go together. So I could, or the rental, like I'm thinking of the Seinfeld bit where he reserved a rental car. She's like, "Unfortunately, your car is not here." To her, it's no skin. Like she's not gaining anything by telling you the car's not here. She's like, "Unfortunately, it's not here." That's unfortunate for her because now she has to put up with his bullshit because he made a reservation. The car's not there. It's unfortunate for him because he doesn't get a car.
I'm with that.
So, I mean, I see the application where clearly somebody can use it in a very passive aggressive tone.
Condescending.
So condescending where they're like, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that for you.
It makes
today.
my fucking skin crawl.
Me too. I agree. Unfortunately, we are out of those. Yeah, you're going to have to get the blue one.
Well, unfortunately, we're going to talk about dad bods today.
Oh, geez. Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Thank you.
That sounds the creepy way.
It is the creepy way. Absolutely intended. No, so just a little runway here. PR sent a text message that said women find dad bods acceptable or attractive recently, and I would like to pick that apart.
So the picture that I sent, I would say would be politely calling that a dad bod. I'd say that was an obese man.
Who was the guy? It was a celebrity?
No, it was just a random bloke. But I would think that when I hear dad bod, I'm not thinking somebody that is very fat. I'm saying it's somebody who's not a six pack. Is looking obviously somebody who's not taking care of himself. So that's my understanding. I don't know whether our producer wants to do a quick Google search or AI.
Photo you sent is a guy with a beer belly, pretty much.
Yeah, that is obese.
He's not obese.
No, he's not obese. He's just very fat.
I mean, I don't picture that picture as dad bod. I agree.
I remember when this surfaced originally, and it was dad bod shaming for celebrities like Jason Momoa when he wasn't shooting a movie. Would be
dad bod
off the clock, out at the beach with his family, and they were like, Momoa's got a dad bod. But the thing that I'm confused about is like he still had built muscle, he just had a belly on him. So that's not what I would imagine the actual definition of a dad bod being. Like, I would think a dad never worked out, small arms.
See,
pot belly.
I thought of it as in college and early before you had kids, a dude that's in good shape, and then because you have children and your life is a fucking nightmare, you don't have time to adequately work out.
So you were built at one point.
So you're like kind of, you used to be in good shape. I mean, that's where I would get it from, because that would make total sense for some woman who's classifying this body type as being like, my dad used to be in great shape. I've seen the pictures when he was in his 20s. Then he gained weight because, that's what a family does to you. It puts you through the fucking grinder. And this is what spits out. That's how I always viewed it. That picture that you showed me is a fat man.
A fat guy. I would agree. I would say that, so let's say amongst if I just had to poke fun of myself, amongst us sitting around the table here, me being the only dad, I'd say I'm the closest one to what I would define as a dad bod.
I think I have a dad bod.
No, you don't.
Just because I'm thin doesn't mean I don't have a dad bod.
No,
I don't have any muscles that protrude.
Yeah. But I'd say that probably, the higher fat content, but not, I wouldn't consider myself to be obese, but I'd say, if one looked at me, they'd say that, this guy is not pushing weights and he's not having, doing all sorts of supplements and things like that. Although I do. But that is, so my understanding of a dad bod is somebody who used to look after themselves, was pretty in good shape, and then has veered off and is probably doing, the odd exercise, is not nothing great. But then but the comment went around the dad bod. Well, was that women find it more attractive?
They would just call somebody fat. Like, they'd just be like, that's a fat person. They're classifying as dad bod separately, which is what tells me they look at somebody and go, that's somebody whose framework underneath was in good shape. They just don't have the time, because they're a dad, to adequately exercise and do what needs to be done to be in great shape. So this is what they look like now, where, none of this is speaking my opinion on women's attraction to it, which, we'll get to, I'm sure. But just to define it, that's kind of where I was getting. That picture is a fat man. And that's why I'm saying, like, I'm a 44-year-old man who's in good shape for being 44, but by no means like fucking six-pack muscles.
But you're not, and I think that is to also, that a dad bod is not somebody necessarily, the opposite of a dad bod, meaning the guy that has a good shape, is not necessarily somebody, I would think, that has a six-pack. Although that article suggests, that's the choice. It's women feels better, more attracted, and I'm happy to debate that. But women find men with a dad bod more attractive than men that are ripped. So to your point, Nick, there's the opposite.
Let me rattle off some stats that I've picked up recently. They're pretty non-specific, but a more specific report. Not just saying dad bod generically, but it was identifying body fat percentage, is that women are most attracted to men that are within 14 to 15% body fat. And then to break that down even more, there's some subconscious stuff going on where, so my assessment is usually when you drop below 10% body fat, you're fucking with your hormones. So your testosterone drops out the bottom. That means that you're not putting out pheromones for women to smell or pick up subconsciously and say that I am ready to mate. When you're in at like above 12% and more specifically in 14 to 15%, that's your prime body fat percentage area to say I am solid, I'm comfortable, I have food in abundance, and I am ready to reproduce because the environment is healthy.
Can you do me a favor real quick, Ed, and just see if human pheromones actually exist? I don't think they do. You say that. I don't think human pheromones
I watched a whole
exist.
documentary on it, and it's called The Science of Sex, and there's a lot going on with things that we pick up.
Our biological responses to different output. Like, I do think that there's something to a man's musk scent being attractive, even though that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm talking about stuff that we're not even smelling.
I don't think there is a separate chemical that we exude that makes somebody
if memory serves, a pheromone is responsible for you not mating with your family member.
Well, I guess I don't
Right,
really.
I did a quick search. It says the short answer from a scientific perspective that it's complicated but currently unproven. While pheromones are well documented in the animal kingdom, the scientific consensus for humans remains cautious.
Yeah, there's no fucking way. So the reason
Why
I'm
not?
saying
It's not that there's no way. I mean, this isn't an on and off switch. There's a gray area.
if
here.
there was a separate chemical that was released that made women attractive to you, somebody would have fucking bottled that shit and sold it in the Egyptian times.
I'm pretty sure there's bottled pheromones.
Here's a quick note, though. It says, while we may not have classic pheromones, humans definitely engage in chemical communication.
Yes, so that's what I think.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, but that's not. There's not.
I'm not talking about shit you smell. I'm talking about shit that we can pick up on.
Fair. Like we don't.
I'm not talking about no. It's not a adrenal gland off a deer.
Okay.
I'm talking about messages from
sure.
human to human that we don't actually smell and say, oh, that smells good or that smells bad, but and incest is directly related to a chemical that your siblings put off that say don't fucking mate with me.
I disagree with that. Incest is prevented in your brain from deep-rooted instinctual behavior that came from years of. So first of all, every single thing that exists is a product of incest because it at least currently believed everything came from one single cell organism that evolved to create everybody. But what ended up happening was throughout millions of years of evolution, if somebody was fucking their sister, some rat was fucking his sister before that evolved eventually to be a human being, they would have biological side effects of the kid being retarded. So that kid couldn't then have kids of its own. So over the years, there was an instinctual prevention of wanting to fuck your sister or your mother that built into your brain. That is the instinctual safeguard against incest. Now, at least in my opinion, what I'm seeing that you're saying, and I do agree, pheromones aren't like a specific chemical. It's a combination of verbal, nonverbal, like your brain picking up on shit you don't even know you're picking up on.
It runs the what do you call it, a gamut or whatever.
And if you want to put that under the overall title of pheromone, then I can agree with that. I just don't think there is a fucking chemical X that comes off of us that says, oh, this is your sister, don't fuck her, or this woman's in heat.
I'll send you the documentary is great. It's very comprehensive. It's very robust. It's very interesting, and it absolutely has to do with reproduction.
Yeah.
But I saw that documentary years and years ago. The information that I'm providing now is off a recent article that I read that says 14 to 15% means alpha, abundance, ready to rock, safety.
Cool.
But I don't think so. I'm at 16% body fat right now. I feel like I have a dad bod, but I still have abs.
I don't think you have a dad bod.
No, you don't have a dad bod. You if somebody looked at you, just your physique, they'd say that this guy's working out. He's absolutely somebody who spends a lot of time on keeping yourself in good shape.
So where's the line of attractive? As far as our intimate group is concerned, between the 14-15% perfect attraction and then what is defined as dad
I'd say
bod.
that I put it at body fat as being one of the criteria, and one of the criteria being, I would say that it's probably higher than, it's probably 20% plus body fat, I would say, where you just have to look at somebody's physique and say, okay, this guy is letting it slide a bit.
Yeah.
He's having maybe one too many beers, most days of the week.
See, to me, I think that physical, obviously, I'm a man. Men, attraction is very heavily, what does she look like? I think that it's very small. If you're talking about a woman looking at a man and determining, just showing him pictures or something, I think that the actual nuts and bolts of the body really don't mean that much. Like, you got to have some minimums, okay? Like, you can't be a fat slob. You can't be super crazy thin. It's better to have hair than not have hair. It's better to not have tattoos on your fucking forehead. Like,
better not to smell.
There are
look like you have a shower every day.
Look like you cared enough to put on clothes that match, that are clean. Like, there are minimums, but once you're beyond those minimums, I think my guess to women is that it's this fucking extensive checklist of shit that they've developed throughout their life to tell them whether or not they like somebody.
Which is what,
like conscious and unconscious clues. I mean, things from to get totally cliche, like relationship with their father and whatever he was like, relationship with other men that they thought were cool, that thought could provide and be like good partners. And then there's probably unhealthy things that they take into consideration that they've been through that give them whether or not they're attracted to this person. I mean, everybody, you've heard about women who are like, I'm always attracted to the bad boy, when every relationship they've had with a bad boy ended poorly. But that's who they're fucking attracted to for whatever possible reason they had. So then they'd be more attractive to somebody who in that split second looks like potentially the bad boy. So I think it's way more simple in the minds of men than it is in the minds of women when they look at a man.
I'd say that men probably, 90% of our decision tree is based on, does she look good, right? I would say I'm like with most men, I'm very simplistic with that. And once you look good from a distance, as opposed to like in my face, I'd rather I make that decision well in advance, and then I'm happy to kind of engage. And once I engage, and I've said to you that if somebody I think looks good, but doesn't interest me, and pretty quickly doesn't interest me, says things that just not part of what I like as part of my repertoire, then I'm politely going to move away. Unfortunately,
I've mentioned this before with you guys that I can find somebody attractive at first meet, and then they open their mouth and they physically become ugly to me because
100%.
of shit that they say.
100%.
And then vice versa. I can see somebody that, I'm like, I'm not necessarily like gross, but like, whatever. And then as they talk, they become more beautiful to me.
Agreed.
And I think for men, just on the point that you were talking about, Trevor, is that I would think that once we get over the fact that you are not, you take care of yourself, and you're well groomed and you've showered and that kind of stuff, and you're not obese, right? That the thing that I would say most important is actually, do I find this guy interesting?
Humor.
Yeah,
there's got to be humor.
I think if you were I don't have any stats to back this up, but I think if you were to randomly ask women, I think the number one thing they'd say is sense of humor would be my guess. Like intelligence, sense of humor, that would be. Yeah.
And the thing is with sense of humor as well is that, some people may find your sense of you may think you're funny, and somebody else that's listening to you may think that you're obnoxious, conceited, and all of that, and then they would move away. But
why are you staring at me so hard?
No, because I'm having the conversation with you. No, but I would say that he's
subconsciously putting out some pheromones.
I'm saying because I've been told that many times,
and that's why I know that I'm not funny. I'm not a natural person that's funny. I don't think that I can tell a joke.
I think you're selling yourself short. I think you're a pretty funny dude.
I think you make me laugh all the fucking time, bro.
But I think that what I would say, I'm pretty
like in our group thread when you tried to pretend like you didn't know what Dancers Royale was. That made me laugh out loud.
But but my sense is that it's finding what I still don't know what dances is, but
sure.
What I find is I'm interested. I would like to meet people that are interesting. Yeah. Just as a whatever that is, you don't have to be funny, because sometimes like the last few times I've chatted with Trevor, for example, I don't know whether I find him funny, but definitely what you and I spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes on is pretty interesting.
Sure.
So I'd say that to me is what attracts me to.
Dude, I had a conversation with Trevor that was renewed the old school interest. So I agree with you. People who are interesting interest me. The problem is I find that almost everybody is fucking not interesting. Like everybody's life is so fucking dull and boring.
I don't joke with you like I would with Nick or Ed.
Right.
I wonder if it's a bit more of I do feel in some aspects that you play more a mentor in my life, and there's a respect.
So okay.
There's a line of respect. I have fucked with you a couple of times, but I don't joke my goofy, shitty, immature way with you like I would with a lot of other people.
But so when we were talking, what got me like on this tangent is that you said that you're kind of looking for ways to avoid the same stupid fucking conversation we have with everybody when you're starting to get
at a networking event.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you were coming up with the one that you were using was which side of the toilet paper roll?
Which way do you flip your toilet paper?
And I was thinking of so since then, honestly, I've been in the back of my head trying to think of other.
Oh, I have, dude. I
love it.
Like probably a dozen times a day, I'm like, I'm gonna tuck that one in the bank so that I can ask somebody that the next day. Because actually, great. After I implemented the toilet paper conversation, I freaked out the first guy. I think he walked away pretty quick. Later, he came.
The guy with the weird red shit around his fucking face.
Yeah.
Later,
he came back and was like, what was up with that? And I told him, I was
really?
Yeah. I go, I'm tired of saying, hey, my name's Trevor. What do you do? And I just wanted to throw something in. And coincidentally, you walked up a split second after I made the decision. And he's like, oh, that's really great. And then we talked about some pretty random shit instead of the normal networking sales pitch crap.
I love it.
And then at the end of the night, I did my Irish goodbye from Vinya, and maybe a block out of Vinya, I heard my name, and he caught up to me, and he's like, I really enjoyed talking with you. I'll see you next time. So
nice.
Switching it up from the humdrum crap is effective.
I just like it, and what I'm approaching is trying to find questions that actually tell me something about somebody's personality.
What do you think your father issues are?
like, hey man, what's your relationship with your dad?
Yeah,
like out of nowhere, see how people react, because their eyes are going to go all fucking crazy while they try to come up with not the truth, with an acceptable level of the truth. Which is the problem that's the problem with this shit. I'm never learning anything about these people, and I want to coordinate it to jury consultation and reading people as quickly as I can, because everybody in a crowd's going to be telling you the same fucking bullshit that they tell to be safe.
I bet you if you ask somebody in jury consultation, tell me about your relationship with your dad, you can tell very quickly if they're lying, if they're angry, if they're hiding shit. I think that's a pretty effective approach.
But I would find that
can you do that?
So
can you ask any question you want to ask?
You can. So here's the rule with jury. So in a jury selection, the rule is that if it can lead you, if in any way a question can lead you to make a decision on somebody's bias, you're fine. A judge will stop it if it seems like you're wasting time. But we get into relationship with parents if a parent has some involved. Like, so for example, if we're in a car accident case where they've had a back surgery, somebody's going to be like, yeah, my dad had back surgery. I'd be like, okay, well, tell me about the relationship with your father. I need to know that because I need to know how close you are with your dad, who had the same surgery as the person that we're making a claim for. So we get into that on a certain extent. To just do it raw would probably garner an objection.
I would say that'll be. But if we're talking about a hop, for example, right? Let's say, for example, somebody came up to me at a hop or at Fiddler's, for example, places we hang out at. And some random person that I don't know comes up to me and says, hey, so tell me, what's your relation with your dad about? I'm like, I'd find that to be fucking completely outside the ballpark, and I'd be like, well,
you'd never forget them.
I would probably find that person to be pretty odd.
Fair. And your reaction is a reaction that would give me information about you.
Yeah, and I'd be it'll tell you that I find that was not an icebreaker kind of comment.
Well, also, me and Trevor can talk. You can too, because you were in leadership as well. That corporate icebreaker shit is the fucking lamest fucking garbage. Do you remember that day?
Which one?
The one where we had to walk around with the checklist of 35 fucking things and find somebody who did.
But that isn't a.
So when you say icebreaker, my asshole puckers up.
No. But what I'm saying is that there are times when you're in a forum where you're trying to find out where there's you're going to a networking, for example, which I never go to, but a formal networking event where you are supposed to be meeting people. You pay money, you go to these fancy clubs, and you're supposed to meet people, right? But when you come to an event like a hop, for example, or just like I mentioned, a hop or fiddlers, right? We there to kind of have a drink and just hang out. If you came up to me at that event, which is just me wanting to have a drink before I go home, and said to me, "So tell me about I don't even know you." If you ask me about my status of my relation with my dad, obviously I know you for a few years.
What about the toilet paper one?
Equally.
Same, equally as the dad.
Equal.
I'd say you need to, if I would come up to somebody and I would say, "Hey, Nick, how's it going?" And I would,
See, I disagree with that. I think the toilet paper one comes off to people's brain, or is more likely to. I mean, obviously, PR would have a different opinion, but is more likely to come off to somebody like the guy with the red shit all over his face if he really thinks about it as like barroom icebreaker talk, like so surface level barroom parlor tricks.
Huh.
Meanwhile, dad would be and what I'm trying to see is something that's in between.
Yeah.
Something where somebody's like, okay, this is a safe parlor trick bar question with no stakes, but also it's going to tell me information the same as tell me about the relationship you have with your father.
I don't actually have an opening line with anyone. I honestly, I mean, it's interesting you guys say this about the toilet paper.
We're not
Obviously,
looking for a bland opening line.
Yeah, I have very, very
I'd
strong
like an
views.
arsenal of shit that I could talk to people about that.
I have very strong views about toilet paper, as you know. Which side goes, which is the right way to put it. But
he's the one who's
I'm
fucking with you, bro.
I'm probably going to talk about, the drink that you're having. Hey, Nick, can I get you a drink? And what are you drinking? And if it's non-alcoholic, we can have a laugh about it.
Coffee right now.
That's going to be where we're at. But, but I'm not going to go in and talk about the toilet paper or about your dad or ask you about, if I know you're running, I'll say, hey, Nick, those running shoes, they look pretty cool. If I'm going to...
I don't run in
It'll be a very lame... I know, but I'm saying, then you're going to say, I don't run in those, and then off we go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be that kind of thing. But I would not go into anything like I mean, I would be... But that's my personality. I'm not going to go in... Trevor's... Because and you could pull it off. You could pull it off in a non-offensive way. And say, hey... like you do. I mean, he's the only guy that I know. Somebody says, so what's your name? And you could be in Central Park like you did with those two old ladies. They said to him, so what's your name? Nick could never do this. You couldn't pull it off, but he can. What did he say? Hey, my name is Downtown Trevor Brown. And they found it to be absolutely cool that you said it, right? If I had to give them my name in that kind of way, singing way, they were like, fuck, we gotta turn around and leave this place.
Yeah, no, they would just assume if I said, "Oh, I'm Orlando Trivia Nick,"
they
would think I'm the most conceited fucking jerk off that
but
ever
then
lived.
let's talk. I'm interested. How can I can get away with it and you can't?
Because you have a different aura to me. I mean, there's a friend that I had in some years ago, right? And him and I would not want to sit on a plane with him because he would make everyone laugh, right? So I had one of the biggest hangovers. We were flying from London to the Isle of Man, which is like a 30-minute flight.
The Isle of Man.
You know what they're doing there.
and we were going to a meeting, and this guy Bruce, I was hoping at like 6 a.m. that I was not going to be sitting on a flight with him.
PR and Bruce going to the Isle of Man.
Yeah, but
sounds like the beginning of one of those tapes I was talking about pre-recording.
So, anyways, the hostess comes down, and it's a very small plane, 2 seats on one side, one seat on the other side, and she walks down.
Two seats, one cup holder.
Dude.
And he says,
"It's just the jokes write themselves."
No, but listen to what he says. He pulls this off at 6 o'clock in the morning. He looks at her. She offers him. Said, "Would you like some tea or coffee, sir?" And he says, "That's a tan in a can, right?" But he says it in the most funny way. And she says, "Yeah. How did you know?" Basically, what he was saying is that she had she'd sprayed some stuff on her to give her like a tanned look on her face or body or whatever. And I looked at him and I was like, that is a very personal thing to say. If I said that to somebody, they probably would have smacked me. right?
I mean, I think that is incredibly offensive. I would never say that to a woman.
Yes,
Ever
but
in a
he
billion
said it,
trillion
and
years.
she had a laugh about it.
Yeah,
Right? Now you,
Sure.
Trevor, you can pull that shit off.
I want to know why.
Right? But that's because of the way you say it. You can say to yourself, the ladies at the park said to you quite seriously, so would you look after my chairs and whatever you, and they said, so what's your name? And they give you their names, and you said, my name's Downtown Trevor Brown. I'm like, oh my God.
So Trevor, I've thought about it a lot as to how you can do it, because it is true. Like, there is some weird double standard. I've always assumed, and I've made it clear that I've thought, you could be at a bar and you can say random shit to people, and because of the way you look, most people, like me, I'm like a fucking dandy that they're like, what the fuck's this guy saying?
Exactly.
They're not fucking with. So I think they are like, it does something to their mood where they're not interpreting it in a way that they would with me. I also think there's something about me personally that comes off as like fucking egotistical and like conceited fucking jerk off. So if I say some shit like that, they take it the wrong way. There's something about the way you say it and present it that seems way more genuine. Like you're not fucking with somebody.
I feel like I say funny shit to slough the prejudgment on what I look like. I catch a lot of shit all. So we were in Fids the other day. A couple was sitting at the corner of the bar. The manager introduced us. Well, the lady actually turned and goes, without having met me, goes, your eyes look like you want to stab me. And I get that a lot. So I think I get away with jokes because people think I do want to stab them. And then I break the ice with just a stupid, dumb, like tongue-in-cheek joke. And then they're like, oh, okay.
I think I would say that there's no one thing. There are people that can pull off a joke. There are people that can pull off a snarky remark. I can't pull off any of those. And I admire people that can do that. I couldn't walk into a room and make a comment like that, or say to somebody, my name is so-and-so, and be funny about it.
I got a good interaction that I would like to report, and probably give a little shout out. The dude from Body Street was at our networking event, and I guess Body Street is a franchise, and they hook you up
to
in
electrodes.
A suit.
Yeah.
That as you flex a muscle or a muscle group, you have electrical shocks.
He was
going
a little
through.
bit. He was a little put off by your.
Was he really? So I walk up.
100%.
Did you hear what I said to him?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. He's the kind though.
Yeah.
That would. That's what I'm. And that's his reaction is telling me how people react to you. He's the kind that wouldn't wouldn't be sitting there falling for your shit because he is who he is.
Yes.
It seems like he'd be the guy who's like, I don't give a fuck what this guy, like, he's not scared of you in any way. He wasn't walking up intimidated and then felt comforted by you. He walks up and he's like, fuck this guy. Like, that's kind of what I would pick from it.
True.
But meanwhile, I mean, you own a company that hooks electrodes to your muscles to fucking shock them into shape. Like, it's like being an acupuncturist. You're going to catch some shit from some people because some people are like, what you do is fake.
Other than, okay, so that was one, a recent one, right? But you've always introduced yourself whenever people say to you, my name's Downtown Trevor Brown, and you don't change that repertoire. You always use it.
I say it for branding purposes. That if you can, it's from Downtown Julie Brown from MTV, I think,
obviously.
But
and I say it rhymes, and people immediately they're like, that was a weird intro.
Yes.
And so I had a fucking guy at the grocery store come up to me the other day that I swear I've never met, and he goes, downtown.
No, but have you had like a super negative when somebody said that?
No.
Okay,
Not super negative. I think I've had somebody question, like,
I think the most you get would be somebody like that guy who owns the electrolysis company to go, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Calling himself Downtown Trevor Brown. Like, to somebody who takes themselves way too seriously, they're going to think that you don't take yourself seriously enough, I guess.
Well,
would be my
kind of don't.
observation. That's great.
Yeah. So that's why I asked, because, if I would always be worried. Except I don't have it in me, in my repertoire to ever, kind of make a comical intro. I try and be funny later on when I know people, but only when I'm comfortable. Before that, the first few times I chat with somebody, I'm not cracking
You never
any
get
jokes.
a second chance to make a first impression. You got to
Yes.
do it
Problem
right
is,
up front.
I'm not good at jokes. The
Yeah.
only thing I'm truly good at is making fun of people. Like I can hit people fucking hard, but that doesn't convey.
Yes.
Dude,
But
it happened at trivia.
But that's you being sincere
I
as
had
well.
some fucking hecklers on Wednesday night.
Tell me more. I love heckler stories. Tell me
There were
more.
these two little fucking brats. You weren't there Wednesday, were
Male,
you?
female?
Male. And it starts. So first of all, fucking absolutely slam packed, as it has been every goddamn Wednesday. We had 34 teams, 180 people, fucking slammed. So, and I'm sober, and I had AJ as my scorekeeper, not Christian. AJ's great. He's not as fast as Christian, and typically I need to do the math. So I'm fucking like, actually, when I'm sober at trivia, it's a job, right? It's not me just fucking partying. It's like I'm working. So I'm working at trivia. And towards the end, before we get to the final question, there's a guy who clearly by his eyes fucking smoked. And he's probably early 20s.
Smoked, drunk. He's drunk.
Out of his fucking mind. And he keeps asking me, hey, can I get on the mic real quick? I'm like, no, you can't get on the mic, bro. Come on. So then his friend, who seems like he's trying to wrangle him, comes up. And he seems less drunk. But then that friend's like, hey, man, just let me get on the mic real quick. I'm like, you guys aren't getting on a fucking microphone. I don't know what to tell you. So then it starts slowly getting more like fucking aggressive, where especially the drunk guy's like, oh, you think you can fucking tell me? So then now I just start hitting him. At first I go, I hope everybody had fun tonight. I know nobody's having as much fun as these fucking guys here. And that's when he's like, Who do you think you're talking to? He kind of says it loud, and I go, all right, everybody, we're going to go quick because this dude, clearly emboldened by his daddy's money, is fucking telling me that it's time to fucking end the show. And everybody starts laughing like crazy. Of course, then, the protector, like there's people who naturally feel protection, like Jordan Owen was there.
Sure.
So Jordan Owen comes and stands, all 6'5" of Jordan Owen comes to stand there to make sure everybody knows. The fucking bouncer can feel the acceleration of it, so the bouncer comes over to throw this guy out. But it was just that quick that I could fucking hit him back. I mean, dude did scream, early 20s, wearing a fucking stupid lame puffer vest, like just scream daddy's money entitlement. So it was easy for me to hit him. Point I'm going with that whole story is I can't really tell funny jokes or stories like you can, Trevor.
Yeah,
like,
so
all I can do is make fun of people. I do it really well, but that you have to kind of be friends with somebody before you start hitting them.
There's a downfall. There's a negative side to, I think, what I embody. I can tell funny stories and jokes. I can joke about myself. I can have weird conversations about toilet paper.
Yeah.
I can't joke with other people very well. I've noticed it at the barber shop. One barber will razz another barber. And I think even within our own friend group here, when it comes to just poking, I only know 0 or 100, and I go straight for like a kill shot. And I think it's funny, but it absolutely will decimate somebody else inappropriately. Yeah. And I've learned over the years to just keep my mouth shut. But I miss that. Like, that's what I am not capable. And I think you guys can joke, and I like listening and watching, but I miss being able to, not miss because I never experienced it. I would want to participate in that. And,
I mean, PR's
can't.
PR's gotten to the point where he can give me a little bit of shit.
Yeah,
it's taken years before you can really.
Yeah, I don't attack. I mean, I think you are true to form, Nick. I would say that you're not a joker by any stretch, but I do think that you connect with people because you attack them. You'd only attack people that you feel almost comfortable with, and then you would do it, and you'd expect them to appreciate that this is the level of comfort you have with them.
Fucking fight back too.
And that's where you're at, right? I just don't. To me, it's not. So my jokes are typically, I would say, when I'm joking, if you don't know me, you probably won't find it funny. You would think this guy's he's dumb or whatever. You wouldn't find. I mean, I would say that's kind of my humor. It's not it's not awkwardly funny. I'm not going to tell you a joke. I don't know fucking jokes. Even though sometimes I write it down. Even if I tell you the joke, like I told you the can and the tan in the can. I mean, that guy, the whole plane was laughing when he said it to this woman, right, on the plane.
I mean, the scenario you're explaining to me does not sound funny. It sounds like this poor woman.
But when I say it, it is not funny. But when he looked up at her, I mean, we looked up. She was pretty gorgeous, but she had this amazing color on her. And she was asking him, would you like tea or coffee at 6 a.m? And we all had a hangover, right? He looks up at her and doesn't say whether he'd like tea or coffee. He says, tell me. Tan in a can. And I'm like, where the fuck did you get that from? Where did that come from? And she laughed at him, and the whole plane laughed, and that was a joke. And that's the some people can do it. I can't. I think Trevor could get away with it. But with me, I wouldn't make an even to a stranger, even to somebody I know, I wouldn't make a comment on somebody's look or what they're wearing or whatever. I couldn't pull it off, even if I'm...
Not unless they're super crazy hot. Like, there's a video of Jim Carrey. Do you know, is that...
No, I thought you were going to say something other than hot.
No.
Super crazy. I was filling in the blank.
If they're crazy, if you can clearly tell, then I think you can make fun of them. And if they have a like, there's a clip of Jim Carrey sitting next to Margot Robbie, and he's like, I'm really happy for you. Like, your ability to succeed with your such clear physical disadvantages. Like, that's funny because Margot Robbie's obviously like absolutely
she's got
drop dead
so
gorgeous.
many disadvantages. I know. Think about.
So everybody laughs, including her, where he said you have physical disadvantages. It's obviously in jest. The problem is you have to be so fucking high on a pedestal to be able to say something like that to somebody and for the point to actually get across. Yeah. And that's why I could never say tan in a can, right, to somebody.
Yeah, no, but you see, the way you say it and the way I say it, that's an insult. That is like saying
I would be insulting
to you
them if I said that.
That I actually am aware that I don't have a good enough tan, so I'm kind of done a spray on the thing. And I just looked at him like, what the fuck did you just say? And she just burst out laughing. And she said, yes, how'd you know? Or something, and they actually started chatting. And then, and that's the kind of guy. So I can't pull it off, Trevor. But you can do it, and that's,
I don't know if I could pull off tan in a can, but I get where you're making connecting the dots.
Dot connecting. That's what we do around here.
Oh my.
Hey, you know what? Let's do some mother licking Funkler nuggets.
Ah, yes.
I sucked up a lot of time on the last installment, so I'm gonna lean on you two.
You sucked up all the time.
Well, it's because we were talking about very important things surrounding the nugget, and it went down a rabbit hole.
That's true.
So I have one. So this week that went by was a big celebration in the Ramya home. It was my son's 22nd birthday. So my wife and I decided to drive up to Tampa to have dinner with him. He booked a restaurant, and my boys, are pretty good knowing the restaurants that Yegs and I like. It was a double celebration, though, because my son, Devin, passed his CFA level 1, which is like a huge thing. He said to Yegs last year in July that he wants to do it. And she was like, hey, this is a huge commitment. You're still in your senior year of college. I don't think you're going to be able to pull it off. And he was like, no, he wants to do it. And so she said, okay, go ahead. And he got through, So it was a double celebration. I mentioned it to Nick, and Nick has been to the restaurant Lilac at the Edition Hotel.
Oh, yeah. Edition in Tampa.
In Tampa.
But by the way, that square, and I guess I'll let you talk about Lilac first, and then I can talk about that square.
I have not been to the Edition. It was... The whole experience was completely new to me, but I do know that you need to dress up a little. So I did dress appropriately. All of us were dressed.
What, suit and tie?
No, not but jacket and
collared shirt
and t-shirt. I had a t-shirt on, but people are dressed smart. The entrance to the hotel is fantastic.
Yeah.
You go through that bar. The bar there is absolutely outstanding. I love a bar like that, kind of a center bar.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, the decor, the flowers. There's so many people taking photographs there. because of the amount of just vegetation in the hotel. But right from the time we checked in, gorgeous maitre d' welcomed us absolutely, with great personality, funny, the whole shooting match. They obviously trained them really well. Sat down. The food it's small plates. It's an expensive restaurant, but I'm gonna say that it is probably my finest dining experience in Florida.
Jesus Christ, really?
It was outstanding.
I mean, I've eaten there. It was good.
Wait, by saying fine,
he said the whole state of Florida.
Finest or best fine dining. Wait, what do you mean by
my best fine dining experience?
So like,
okay.
Does this include how the food tasted and service, or just service?
Yeah, it was the whole package.
All right.
The whole package. So I would put Foreigner. So prior to this, Foreigner was probably going to be my best fine dining experience prior to the Lilac. I would and Foreigners, because I think you got Bruno coming out, who's the owner and the chef, and he's kind of taking you through the whole thing. So that experience.
They
is
cut the
fantastic,
leg,
right?
the pork leg out for you and give you a slice.
Yeah. So that's I love that about Foreigner. But hey, Lilac, it was just, so I had the pork belly as my starter. Melt in your mouth pork belly. It was that good. But small plates, but there's just two little pieces. The main, I had a duck, which was just the best duck I've ever had. I'm not a dessert person, so none of us had that. But the two, and then the service and the bottle of champagne, it was that the entire, and they have two people coming serving you all. So there's like two people. There's not like one person, right? So you got constant service, but in a nice, not in an intrusive way. So we actually booking to go back in May. Because it's graduation in Tampa in May, so we're gonna go and do a graduation. May stay over. What's a hotel like? Did you stay?
So that's my hotel. So I have in every city where I pick juries potentially my hotel, which is part of my pricing, and I stay at the Edition when I go to Tampa. It's high end. I love it. It's fantastic. It's clean, great service. It's located. Tampa's a shithole, in my opinion, the whole fucking city. But you've got this 2-block area next to Edition that has excellent restaurants.
It's called like the water, what is it called? It's got like a watercraft.
Yeah, it's like a waterfront or
right.
Something like that, riverfront. I know what you're talking about.
I've only been to hang out in Tampa really once. Is this a big block and it's a brick building that has a bunch of shit on the inside of it, open air?
No. This is like 2 blocks where there's a bunch of different restaurants and bars
on the water,
very close to the water. It's very close, directly across from where the Lightning, the Tampa Bay Lightning play. So the Edition, my room in the Edition, every time I've stayed there, I can see the stadium's directly across the street. So that makes it difficult if there's a fucking match going on or something. But so it's right there in the shit. Caddy Corner is an excellent fucking French restaurant. The name escapes me right now, but it's something like Patisserie. It's a French name. That place is fantastic. Food is unbelievable. So there are 2 blocks right there that have awesome bars, awesome food. Just, my recommendation, if you're going to Tampa, stay at the Edition.
And it looks like it's pretty safe to walk around when
100%,
when you're there.
As long as you're in that area. As soon as you don't take the trail over by the water, don't go anywhere other than that high-end financial district right there.
Tampa's dangerous?
Tampa is a fucking shithole. I don't. Tampa is fucking terrible, in my opinion.
I wonder what they say about Orlando.
I'm sure they say the same thing, especially if you. And I'm sure there are pockets like the one I found in Tampa that are good. I'd say the same thing about Orlando. Unless you're in certain pockets, you're either in Castleberry, Winter Springs, which are fucking fucking terrible, or you're you go too far west on Colonial, you're in fucking trouble. You go too far east on Colonial, you're in trouble. Like, if you go downtown at night, you might not make it back.
Where we go to, like, Sparrow and those kind of places.
So that's like
nice,
North
right?
Quarter. That's going to be, I'd call it North Quarter because it's just north of Colonial, downtown. That's great. Mills 50, obviously, is fucking great. Park Avenue is fucking great. Like, there are pockets. Audubon's good. If you're in the shit in Baldwin, you can find a couple of places that are good, and Baldwin's not bad. Baldwin's safe. Like, there are pockets in Orlando that are good, and then there are pockets that are fucking not. Like, You go to 436 and over South Seminole Way, like 436 and 1792, you're in fucking rough territory and everything's a shithole. Like, but then
what do you think of Lake Eola?
Like Eola Heights?
No, where the lake is and the
that's
restaurants.
rough, dude.
Where
Downtown's
26
fucking tough,
swans
baby.
just died.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they got
Yeah, the swans
they got a
are
bird
getting
flu.
fucking dying. Like downtown's tough right now. I think downtown will come back, and downtown in the early 2000s was world class, I thought, but especially for partying and for food. But it's not good now. Like, and it's dangerous there.
I don't even think I haven't been exactly, but I've been through. I think Thornton Park's even taken a little bit of a dive.
Yeah, I agree. And Thornton Park used to be where like high end, like people paid a lot for fucking houses and shit to be right outside of downtown. So I mean, that's my opinion on that. I have a couple.
Shoot.
I've seen it because I'm sober and there's nothing to fucking do. I've gone to the movies twice. I saw Anaconda last night.
Jack Black, Paul
Rudd.
Rudd.
Fucking shit's hilarious.
Is it?
If you're looking for a movie that's fucking dumb, like in the vein of like Anchorman, where there's not really a story, it's just about gags and jokes. It's only an hour and a half long. Fucking love it. Totally recommend it. You know, just a good time. It's not going to change your life. It's not going to give you philosophical musings.
It's no Shawshank Redemption.
It is, yeah. It's no Hamlet that PR was quoting, but it's a entertaining film. The other one I saw was called We Bury the Dead. I don't think I talked about it last week because we were on other nuggets. So that was a horror movie, and it was fantastic. The main actress her name's Daisy Ridley. She's like the new Skywalker in all of the new Star Wars films. And basically what happens is that the America was testing a nuclear weapon and it didn't like fucking blow up to kill everybody like a nuke. Instead, it was like an electronic pulse that fucking blanked everybody's brain and they all fucking dropped dead on the entire Tanzania, the entire fucking island. And some of them, it didn't blank them out enough where they come back and basically they're like a zombie, but they're not trying. Most of them are not trying to kill you. They're just walking around, and it's not like you bite and get infected. So she goes there trying to find her fucking husband. Movie's fucking great. It's not like a classic zombie film, and it's not like a classic horror film. It's more of a philosophical film. I really fucking liked it and recommend it. So, and that was both at Winter Park Regal, which I love.
I love the Regal.
That fucking theater's great, man.
Really
Everything's
good.
clean. You fucking get your little popcorn treats. You get a reserved seat where you go sit down so you don't have the stress of that shit. It helps that both time I happen to get one of those parking spots in the main drive-thru when you're coming in. So it was just, an enjoyable fucking experience. I love that shit.
Yeah, it's probably, I would say that it's one of the best kept secrets around here that you can actually, there's this beautiful place that you can go and do all that stuff, park and walk around, spend the, there's places to eat, really great place to eat, place to drink. That movie house is incredible.
I kind of want to take a shit on two of the restaurants over there.
Which ones? Because it's going to hurt my soul.
Hangry Bison.
Damn it, bro. Really?
And
Hangry Bison has the best fucking bourbon
what's the one right across the
Orlando.
way from Hangry Bison?
Bar Louie?
Yeah.
All right. Bar Louie.
They need to throw in some new restaurants in there that are a little bit more classy, but also in PR's vein, like Bar Italia, where they know that you're there to see a movie, so they're quick. The menu is geared towards that experience. I think they need to.
So I do agree, Hangry Bison. I always sit at the bar, always, and they don't have motivation to get you fucking in and out. And
Right.
I agree with that. And they're across from a fucking movie theater. But I will tell you, their burgers are fucking great, and their bourbon selection might be the best in Orlando.
Okay.
Like, they had a bourbon that I've never found anywhere else, which is High West is a distillery that does bourbon, and they aged their bourbon in Prisoner wine. So it's called Prisoner Share, the Prisoner's Share of High West bourbon. The only one I could find on like wooden cork online was like fucking $2,000 for a bottle of it, and it's expensive, but it's the best fucking bourbon I've ever. I loved it so much. I think I drank the entire bottle at Hangry Bison because nobody else would order it. They never heard of it, and it was expensive. They have the $10,000 bottle of Eagle Rare that I've never tried, but they have it there. I think they have the best bourbon selection in Orlando. So, and their burgers do the job for me when I'm in the mood for a burger. So
you're having a $20 burger and $1,000 bourbon.
I've never done it yet.
How much is so if it's a $10,000 bottle?
$1,500 for a pour.
Jeez, crow.
Yeah, $1,500 for a pour. You know which one I'm talking about, right? In the crystal bottle, the Eagle Rare. I've wanted to, but you know, it would take some kind of crazy, like I fucking won some case that's insane. Can
you find a bottle on your own and not pay the markup at a bar?
So you could go, theoretically, you'd have to go to the distillery. You'd have to be there at the right time when they happen to have it. You'd have to pay their retail, which is probably still $10,000. But other than that, no. I mean, not in Orlando. You'd have to be in a fucking like a big city, and you'd have to have connections, and they'd have to know when it's coming in, like that kind of shit to get this level of bourbon. I mean, it's the only time I've ever seen the bottle is at Hangry Bison. They have the box, so when you walk in, they have a case, display case on the right. You can see the box it came in, and then on the very, very, very top right is in the middle is that bottle. And I'm like, what's the pour? And they're like, $1,500. I'm like, God damn.
That's without the tip.
That shit. Yeah. And I mean, I've done before where I was like in Kansas City and I was like, hey, I'm kind of celebrating. I'll do this Pappy that everybody talks about. There's $350 for a 1 ounce pour, which is like expensive as fuck for a 1 ounce pour of anything. So, and I did it and I was like, honestly, I like fucking Eagle Rare and Blanton's better. So, I mean, if I were to do the Eagle Rare, I bet you it's crazy smooth because I can taste a huge smooth difference between 12 and 10 because they have Eagle Rare now 10, 12, 17, 12, 10, 15, 17. And I could tell the smoothness between the 12 and the 10, like when I drink them. So I bet you that shit is just fucking smooth as a lake. Like, it would be great. But $1,500, man. That's ouchie.
Making me thirsty.
All right.
I know.
Thank everybody for listening. And I always appreciate DJ The Young and the Restless and Showtime Sadul throwing in their wisdom. Special thanks, as always, to Carlos Mencia, the wizard and super producer.
Who is not hungover today.
He has a 0 on the hangover scale.
Lucky you.
And thank you, as always, to the Intuitive Muse. Please hit like and subscribe. Leave comments, questions, and requests. Connect with us on social media for Avengers throughout the week.
See you in the promised land, motherfucker.
Later, Gators.